I saw you when the fire touched your soul, and yet, I did not let it consume you. You thought it would destroy you, the weight of shame, the betrayal of your own heart, the silence of those who said they would stay. But the fire only exposed what was never meant to remain, that it burned away the layers you used to hide from me, and in the heat I came closer, child. You feared the flame, but I was in it with you, just as I walked with the three in the furnace, unbound, untouched, unafraid. I have walked in the flames of your affliction, not as a distant god, but as the one who stood beside you and no one else remained. You cried out, "Why must I suffer if I am yours?" But I say to you now, you are mine because you have suffered, not in vain, but in surrender. Not because I delight in your pain, but because I delight in the purity that comes when you finally stop clinging to what cannot save you. I watched you offer me ashes, thinking I would turn away, but I turned my face toward you, and I smiled, because even your ruin was still an offering in my sight. You forget I do not seek perfection. I seek your heart, your honest, broken, trembling, raw heart. And when you brought it to me, even scorched by sin, I cradled it in mercy. The fire did not consume you because I have already consumed what needed to die. Your guilt, your striving, your false names. I have taken it, is finished. What remains now is, holy. Do you not know that I have waited for you? Before time shaped your days, I wove patience into my covenant with you, not because I am weak, but because love waits. Love waits even when it hurts, even when the one it loves runs into the arms of lesser gods, into empty wells, into shadows that offer nothing but more fire still. I waited. You have mistaken my patience for absence. You thought I was far because I did not interrupt your fall, but even in your collapse, I set boundaries around your destruction. I whispered in the fire, this far, and no further, because I knew the moment when your heart would turn again, and when it did, I was already on the road to meet you. You are not disqualified. You are not forsaken. You are not defined by the fire you walked through. You are defined by the one who walked in it with you. There are things we must speak of. Sin. The kind that you do not speak aloud. The kind that made you lower your eyes in my presence. The kind that convinced you that your story had ended, but it has not. Because where sin increased, my grace increased all the more. I'm not afraid of what you have done, but I do require truth. Not for me, I already know, but for you. So you may stop hiding from yourself, come out from behind your excuses, drop the garments of shame you stitched. With your own hands they do not cover you, they only weigh you down. Let me clothe you in light again. You have mistaken confession for condemnation, but confession is the place where death dies, and resurrection begins. Speak it in my presence, and I will not turn away. I will kneel with you, and write forgiveness across your wounds. There is no sin greater than the sacrifice I made. No chain stronger than the blood that broke it. No past that outshines the future I am giving you. Return. I know you have waited. For justice. For healing. For answers. For love. You have counted days with trembling hands and buried prayers beneath your tears. And still, the silence seemed unbroken, but what you did not see was how I have counted with you. I have kept your tears in my hands. I have numbered your cries, and not one of them has been forgotten. When the answer did not come, you assumed I had turned away, but sometimes silence is not absence, it is preparation, a stillness before the dawn. I do not operate on the timelines of man, I move in eternity, and the promise I gave you was not shallow nor temporary. It was eternal and worth the wait. Even now, you do not see all I have prepared. You see the fire, but not the gold it reveals. You see the ashes, but not the garden I am planting there. You feel the loss, but not the resurrection that is rising beneath it. Wait a little longer, not in despair, but in hope, because I am not finished with you. There are glories that grow only in the dark. There is a kind of faith that is not forged in comfort, but in trial, and that is the faith you carry. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. You are not behind. You are hidden for a time, for a purpose greater than you yet understand. Even your waiting as worship, even your silent sighs a psalm. Do not curse the fire. It is not your enemy, it is the forge, and I, the refiner, what the enemy sent to consume you. I have used to consecrate you. You are not being burned, you are being set apart. And then, almost like a whisper wrapped in thunder, I have loved you and you did not know how to love yourself. I have carried you and your hands let go. I have sung over you and you thought no one remembered your name. Have stayed when others left, and I will stay even now. Even if you fall again, even if the fire grows hotter, even if your steps falter, my love is not a flicker, it is a flame that will never go out. I am not a man, I do not lie, I do not abandon, I do not abandon. Not forget what is mine. You are mine. And in my hands you will pass through the fire, but the fire will not consume you. I have seen what the fire has left behind. Ashes where joy used to live. Walls charred by disappointment. Dreams reduced to fragments of what they once were. But I say to you now, do not mourn the ruin too long, for what was destroyed could never hold the glory that is coming. I allowed the fire not to punish you, but to prepare you. What you thought was an end was only a cleansing, a divine interruption, to make space for something holy to rise. You still carry the scent of smoke on your soul, but I am washing you now. I am clothing you in garments not made by hands. The robes of the past are gone, the ones stained by fear, by betrayal, by striving. For love that never saw you, I am dressing you in light. A new identity, one that is not built on what broke you, but on who restored you. You thought you were only what the fire left, but I see who you have become in its aftermath. Refined, resilient, radiant. You walk differently now, not in shame, but in sacred strength, because you no longer walk alone. I have not only brought you out of the fire, I have brought the fire out of you. No longer will it rage in your thoughts, burning through your confidence, scorching your peace. No peace now reigns, not the fragile peace of the world, but the peace that holds even when all else falls apart. You are no longer a victim of the flame. You are a vessel of my glory. You asked, what now? What comes after the loss, after the cleansing, after the silence? And I answer you now, the rebuilding begins. Let me rebuild you, child, not as you were, but as you were always meant to be. I am the potter, you are the clay. But now, the pieces of your brokenness are not wasted. They are the material I will use to craft something more beautiful than what was before. Your soul is not too shattered. Your past is not too complicated. Your hands are not too weak. Because I will build with you, and I do not build temporary things. I am establishing foundations in you that will not shake when the next storm comes. I am pouring into you wisdom that no teacher on earth could give. I am setting your feet upon eternal stone. This time, your identity will not be built on performance, on applause, on perfection. This time, it will be built on grace, on love, on me. What the fire took, I will restore, but not as it was. Because what I rebuild will carry my fingerprints. No longer will you beg for belonging. No longer will you chase validation. No longer will you shape yourself to fit a world that never recognized your worth. I have seen your true shape. I formed it before your first breath, and now I breathe life into it again. You are my dwelling place. You are my beloved. You are not a remnant. You are a rebirth. Let the old labels fall away. Failure, unworthy, too late, too broken. Those are not my words. Those are not your name. I call you restored, redeemed, resurrected, righteous by the blood I shed, chosen not by accident but by intention, not just called but wanted. And I want all of you, not just your strength, not just your success. I want your wounds, your worries, your questions, your quiet, because I do not rebuild in part. I restore the whole. You believed your soul was too ruined to carry light again, but I say this is the very soul I have chosen to pour my light into. Do you not see? The cracks are not your shame, they are where the light escapes. They are the evidence that you survived what was meant to bury you. And now, in that very place, I will begin my work. I will plant truth in the ruins of your lies. I will grow joy where sorrow had made its home. I will raise up a fortress of peace on the battlefield of your torment. This is the miracle of restoration. Not that I make things as they were, but that I make them better than they ever could have been. And yes, you will still remember the fire, but you will not fear it. You will not bow to it, because you will know that the fire bowed to me. Let the memories come, let the ache rise. But then let me meet you there. I am not afraid of what you carry. I carry it with you, that there is no wound too deep for my hands to heal, no shadow too dark for my light to reach, no loss too great for my love to redeem. I am not just restoring your soul, I am restoring your vision, the way you see yourself. I am changing it. The way you see others, I am softening it. The way you see me, I am unveiling it. You will no longer call me distant. You will no longer believe I only love when you succeed. You will know me as the one who stays, the one who rebuilds, the one who writes glory on your scars. And you will see that the plan I had for you did not die in the fire. It lives, it has always lived, even in the waiting, even in the wandering, even in the silence. I did not stop writing your story. You simply turned the page too soon. But now watch as I reveal the next chapter. It is one of resurrection, of restoration, of renewal. You thought the fire was the end, but I tell you, was the beginning. Now, you will rise. not in your own strength, but in mine. Not in your old name, but in the name I have always spoken over you, and you will walk with authority, because the fire tried to take you, but it could not. You walked through it, and now you carry its lessons without its chains. You are not a prisoner of your past. You are a carrier of my presence. And in that presence, you will rebuild not only your own life, but others will find shelter in the sanctuary I raise within you. They will see the fire did not consume you. They will see my glory in your restoration, and they will believe again, because the story I write with your life is not only for you, it is for those who watch, for those who doubt, for those who wonder if anything holy can come from their ashes, and your life will say, yes, it can, it has, it will. So walk forward, not with fear, but with reverence, not with shame, but with courage, because I am with you still. I have not changed my mind. I have not changed my love. I have not changed my promise. You are not what the fire said you were. You are what I say you are, and I say you are whole. You have risen from the ashes, but now you must learn to live from the resurrection. This is not a return to what was. This is a stepping into what always was meant to be. Your soul no longer carries the posture of survival. You now carry the fragrance of purpose. For too long you believed your life was a series of losses, but I say to you now, I have written you into a story of redemption, and that story is beginning to bear fruit. You wonder, what does this new life look like? It looks like love that acts. It looks like faith that walks. It looks like hope that heals. It looks like you, not as the world named you, but as I have always known you. You no longer carry the fire to fear it. Now you carry the fire to warm others, to speak into their cold, shadowed places with the heat of mercy and the light of truth. The pain you endured has become the oil of your compassion. The very scars you tried to hide now shine as the signposts of my faithfulness. You are no longer a bystander to grace. You are a living testimony of it. Do not hold back. The time for silence has passed. Now is the time to build, to speak, to move in the purpose I planted in you even before the fire ever touched your life. There are those waiting for the sound of your healing. They are watching to see if anything can truly rise again, and your life will speak for me. Let them see that ashes were never the end. Let them see that fire, when touched by my hand, only clears the ground for gardens of glory. Love now like one who has been healed, not timidly, not fearfully, but with a boldness rooted in gentleness, with hands no longer clenched in defense, but open in service. The world will not always understand. They did not understand me either. They will question your joy, your peace, your conviction. They will wonder how you carry light in a world that trades in shadows, but you will not carry your light alone. I go before you, I walk beside you, fill you from within, and your light will not flicker, because it is not a product of emotion, it is born of encounter. It is not a borrowed flame, it is the fire I have placed in your soul. Let it shine, not for applause, not for recognition, but because there are hearts drowning in night who need to see that morning still exists. You are no longer rebuilding, just for you. Now the restoration over your life becomes a shelter for others. This is the hour to walk. You have sat long enough in the ruins. You have stared at what was lost, longing for what cannot return. But I am doing a new thing, and it requires your steps. Step forward in faith. Step forward with trembling if you must. But do not stay where grace has already moved on. I am calling you into motion, not in striving, but in surrender. Not in proving, but in planting. Everywhere you go, you carry my spirit. You are not just surviving anymore, you are sowing, and the seeds you scatter in obedience will bloom in generations you may never meet. You are part of something eternal now. This life you live is not small, though it may feel hidden. I do my greatest work in those the world overlooks. So do not measure the worth of your obedience by the applause of men. Measure it by the presence of my spirit. For where I am, there is power. You asked me, why all the fire? Why the silence? Why the weight? Now I show you, I was shaping you for something more than comfort or success. I was preparing you to carry glory. Glory that cannot be fabricated. Glory that costs. Glory that bleeds. Glory that transforms. I am building through you a legacy that will not burn in the fires of time. It will not crumble when the winds of culture shift. It will not decay in the absence of human approval, because I am building with the eternal, and I needed you to be strong enough to carry it. That is why the crushing came. That is why the pruning hurt. That is why the silence stretched out, because I was rooting you so deeply in me that nothing shallow could uproot you again. And now, from those roots, fruit will come. Love that costs. Peace that passes understanding. Joy that does not depend on circumstance. Patience that outlasts the trial. kindness that breaks walls, faithfulness that keeps its word, gentleness that disarms fear, self-control that denies the flesh and welcomes holiness. This is the fruit of your new identity. Not earned, given, not fabricated, formed, not perfect, but holy. This fruit will feed the hungry. This fruit will point to me. This fruit will multiply in others. And it began with fire. You used to define yourself by what you lacked. Now define yourself by what I have placed in you. You are not empty. You are full, full of my spirit, full of my love, full of my vision. You are no longer waiting to be seen. I see you. You are no longer hoping to be chosen. I have chosen you. You are no longer begging to be healed. You are healed and healing others with every step you take in me. You no longer walk with a limp of shame. You walk with a limp of love, a reminder of the wrestle, a testimony of the victory. And the more you walk in this new name, the more the world will see what only I could make of your ashes. Do not hide your story. Do not hide your scars. They are now your authority. Your scars speak of the altar. Your pain now preaches of redemption. Your healing invites others to believe. You are not just the healed, you are now the healer. Because my healing flows through you, you are not just the redeemed. You are now the Redeemer's voice in the valleys others still walk through. Fire did not consume you because I was preparing you to carry fire that would never go out. Not the fire of trial, but the fire of calling. Not the fire of loss, but the fire of eternal purpose. There are lives whose chains will fall because of the words I place on your lips. There are families who will return to me because of the light that pours from your life. There are generations who will walk in freedom because you refused to stay buried in the ashes. This is my eternal plan, to take what the enemy meant for evil and turn it into an eternal harvest. You thought your pain ended with you, but your obedience will echo into eternity. You thought your healing was just for your heart, but your healing is the wellspring for the healing of many. You thought your fire was the end of your story, but I say now it was only the opening of the scroll I have written with your name, with your purpose, with my promises etched into every line. It is unsealed. Now it is being read by heaven and earth, and it will not be silenced, because I have declared it so. And when I speak, the fire cannot consume, the grave cannot hold, the world cannot erase, because my word stands, and I have spoken over you. Alive, chosen, called, victorious, my delight. You are walking now not just as one saved, but as one sent. Go, walk in the fruit I have made grow. Love without fear, build without striving, speak without shame. And remember always you passed through the fire, but it did not consume you, because I walked in it with you, and I will walk with you still. Heaven sees what earth often overlooks, while you look at your life and count small acts, unnoticed kindness, quiet endurance, or whispered prayers as insignificant. I tell you that each one resounds in eternity. Nothing you do in my name is ever lost. Nothing offered in surrender vanishes into silence. You do not walk through time alone. All of heaven watches the unfolding of your story, and they marvel at my work within you. The cloud of witnesses sees what rises from the soil of your obedience, and they rejoice at the fruit you cannot yet see. They know the weight of glory that comes from seeds buried in faith. What you sow in love will never be forgotten. The garden I have grown in you is not for display, it is for harvest, and that harvest is eternal. The fruit of your pain now feeds the hungry. The oil pressed from your crushing now anoints the broken. The mercy you received is now the river that flows from your life into others. What once were wounds have become wells. What once were scars have become stories of salvation. And every step you now take leaves behind the fragrance of heaven. I do not waste anything, not your sorrow, not your silence, not your shame. I have redeemed every part. And now, through you, others will know they can rise. You thought your healing was private, but I am turning it into a public declaration of my power. You thought your obedience was quiet, but I am amplifying it through eternity. The heavens rejoice when one soul turns back to me, but they also watch when that soul becomes a lighthouse for many. And you, beloved, have become that light. Your words, shaped by truth and tenderness, now carry weight beyond what your ears can measure. Your intercession, spoken in quiet corners, shakes foundations unseen. Your worship, rising even in the dark, is incense that ascends and fills the courts of heaven. You do not need a stage to shift the atmosphere. You carry my spirit, and wherever my spirit dwells, eternity moves. You walk through a broken world carrying an unshakable kingdom. That there are lives attached to your yes, faces you may never meet, voices that will echo your story in places your feet never tread. Because the kingdom is like a seed, a single yes, in faith that multiplies without end. You may only see the soil, but I see the orchard. You may feel like a branch, but you are part of a divine vine that touches the nations. You prayed for purpose. This is purpose, to bear fruit that remains. Not fruit that spoils in the sun, not fruit that fades with time, but fruit that endures into eternity. And I have appointed you for this. Not because you were strong, but because you were willing. Not because you never fell, but because you rose again in my arm. I take what the world would discard and make it divine. I take what was nearly lost and make it eternal. I take the fire that nearly broke you and turn it into light for the generations to come. The kingdom of heaven is watching you, not with judgment, but with joy. The angels rejoice over your transformation. They saw the pit you were in. They saw the moment you lifted your head. They saw the altar built with your surrender. They saw the turning, the burning, the beginning of your restoration. And now, they witness the rising. You carry more than you realize. You carry promises older than your breath. You carry destinies woven through your bloodline. You carry mercy too deep for words. And I have sealed you for such a time as this. You will not fade. You will not fall apart. You are anchored in me, that what others mocked, I have honored. What others doubted, I have established. What others tried to erase, I have written into eternity. Your name is known in heaven, not for what you've done, but for what I have done in you. And now, you become part of my legacy in the earth. Let your steps be bold. Let your voice be strong. Let your kindness be relentless. Let your love be costly. Let your prayers be ceaseless. Because every act rooted in me lives forever. You are building something unseen. Do not measure your life by what the world values. Measure it by the echoes it leaves in eternity. There is more coming, a harvest beyond your imagination. You sowed in tears, you will reap in joy. You labored. In silence you will rejoice in the songs of those set free. You waited when it hurt. Now you will see the faces of those who find me because you stood your ground. You could have turned back, but you pressed on. You could have cursed the fire, but you let it cleanse you. You could have walked away, but you let me stay. And because of that, my glory will rest upon your life in ways you cannot yet comprehend. There will be moments when your heart remembers the pain, but now you will look at it through heaven's eyes. You will not weep in regret, but in awe at how I never let go, or at how I transformed what was shattered, or at how I used it to bring others home. For this is what my love does. It never ends with one person. It always flows outward. Are not just restored, you are sent, not in haste, but in holy authority. You carry a message shaped by fire, sealed by grace, and carried by my spirit. Go forth in peace, but not in passivity. Go forth with gentleness, but not with silence. Go forth with mercy, but also with truth. The world is starving for the fruit I have grown in you. Do not hide it. Do not hoard it. Let it pour out. Let the fragrance of your healing fill the places still burning. Let the sound of your deliverance be a song that others can follow. You are not finished. You are only beginning to understand the depth of what I have planted in you. Even now, as you read, I am expanding your capacity. I am deepening your roots. I am preparing you for a greater harvest, one that will echo in heaven. I want you to understand this clearly. The life you live in me is not small. Even if no one claps, even if no one writes your name in lights, even if you walk unseen by crowds heaven sees, and heaven records. Every cup of water given in love, every act of forgiveness, every choice to love instead of hate, every decision to obey when it hurt, all of it is worshipped, all of it is counted, and all of it bears fruit. You are not striving for relevance. You are rooted in eternity. You are not chasing titles. You carry my authority. You are not building a platform. You are building altars. You are not gathering followers. You are gathering souls. And every soul that touches your light touches me. This is your legacy, not fame, but faithfulness, not noise, but presence. Not a name carved in stone, but a life carved in heaven. And that kind of life never ends, it only multiplies. One day when your eyes see clearly beyond the veil, you will behold the souls who followed your light. You will see the ones who were touched by your prayers. You will hear the songs sung by hearts you helped rescue. You will taste the fruit of the seeds you sowed in secret. And you will fall to your knees, not in pride, but in wonder at what I did with your surrender. Until that day, walk with joy, serve with love, live with eternity in your eyes. For the fire has not consumed you, it has only consecrated you. And now, your life shines like a city on a hill, unshaken, undimmed, unashamed, because you walk not by what you see, but by who you know. And I am with you always. You believed your love was small, a whisper, a gesture, a sacrifice that no one noticed, but I saw. And what you planted in love, I have sealed in eternity. Nothing born of love dies. Nothing done in my name returns empty. You did not sow into the dust. You sowed into my kingdom, and the fruit of your offering will rise again, generation after generation. This is the mystery of divine inheritance, that your life is not yours alone. Your tears were not wasted. Your prayers were not silent. Your obedience did not echo into nothing. Everything given in love became a seed of light, and the soil of eternity remembers. What you thought would die with you has already outlived you, because I do not count as man counts. I see the unseen, I weigh the eternal, and I honor the roots that others cannot see. You walked through fire and did not bow to bitterness. You chose mercy when vengeance seemed easier. You stayed when leaving would have been justified. You forgave when pain still pulsed through your memory. These things, though quiet in the eyes of the world, resound in heaven. You have become an echo of my voice in the earth. You have become a legacy written not with ink, but with spirit. You thought the purpose of your healing was only to bring you peace, but peace in you has become a lighthouse for others. Hope has multiplied. Faith has spread. My name has been glorified not just through your mountaintops, but through your endurance, your silence, your weight. You do not see the fullness yet, but the seeds you planted in tears are bursting forth in my time. You loved without receiving. Love you gave without demanding return. You believed when the promises looked barren, and now, I declare, the harvest has begun. Some of the fruit will come in ways you recognize, a life changed by your testimony, a child restored by your forgiveness, a soul awakened by your light. But some of the fruit will only be revealed in eternity, in the holy hush when I unveil what your life truly produced, and you will see that you were never insignificant. You were my sewer of light. You were my seed bearer in the valleys where others gave up. You were my flame in the places where darkness threatened to swallow joy. And now, what was sown in secret will rise in glory. You are not only a survivor, you are an inheritance. Your children will eat from the trees you planted. Your community will drink from the wells you dug in intercession. Your name will not be lifted by man, it will be remembered in heaven as one who did not quit, one who stood in the fire and held the name of Jesus like a banner in the smoke. Do you not understand? You are part of a chain that cannot be broken, a divine lineage, born not of blood, but of spirit. The faith that lives in you will not die with your breath. It will pass on, because fire cannot consume what has been sealed in glory. Your soul is no longer the same. You are no longer just restored, you are consecrated, marked, set apart, a flame that will not go out. Where others gave in to the pressure, you pressed deeper into my presence. Where others sought the exit, you sought my face, and I will not forget it. Neither will those who follow your light. They will walk the path you cleared. They will rest in the shade of your obedience. They will rise because you chose to remain. This is the reward of the faithful. Not applause, but legacy. Not fame, but foundation. Do not think your life ends here. What you began in me continues. You are building what the fire could not destroy. A temple in the spirit. A dwelling place of my presence in the lives of those you've touched. You may not see them all, but the ones who watched you rise after the breaking, they will carry your fire. You may not hear their voices, but your prayers have reached them, before your words ever could. This is my design, that the soul refined by love becomes the light that others use to find their way home. You carry a torch, but that torch is not yours alone. It has been passed from those before you, and now you pass it to those behind you. You are part of something far bigger than your days. You are woven into the eternal story of love that I have written since the beginning, and now, you shine. You shine not because the fire spared you, but because you found me in it. You shine not because you were never broken, but because I rebuilt you with glory. It is not over. Even now, the heavens watch in stillness as the light within you grows stronger. The world will shift, storms will come again, but you will not shake, because your roots go deeper than pain. Your foundation is older than sorrow. Your name is written not on paper, but in my hands. Soon the greater glory will be revealed. You have carried much. You have endured the wilderness, you have sown in silence, and now, the wind of my spirit is beginning to stir. What comes next will not be built in human strength. It will not be held by reputation. It will not be limited by time. It will be divine, born of fire, sealed by love, anchored in eternity. You will walk into it with nothing to prove, because my presence will be all the proof you need, and those who doubted you will witness the light you carry. Not for vengeance, but for restoration. You will be a sign not of survival, but of resurrection. Beloved, let this be sealed in you. What you planted in love has become a living flame, and that flame will guide others through their own fire. Let your story remain open. Let your steps remain surrendered. Let your eyes remain lifted to me, because there is more still to come. The fire did not consume you. It revealed you, and now, you live not just for this world but for the world to come. The story does not end in the ashes. It does not close in silence or in smoke. It rises, as the soul rises, from the place where all was stripped away and only truth remained. The soul that endured the fire. The soul that chose love over bitterness, faith over fear, trust over escape. That soul is not forgotten, it is crowned, not with the honors of men, but with the weight of presence, with glory that does not rust, that does not shift, that does not fade. All that was endured, all that was surrendered, all that was lost, becomes now the altar upon which eternity rests. There is a glory that waits for the ones who remained, a light that cannot be manufactured, only given, a name that is not earned, but bestowed. And this crown, this final weight of wonder, is my presence forever.